Hey there, Matt from 2A Cops. I realize it's been quite a while since I've done a video, like 5 months since I've done a video, and I apologize for that. I'll do a little update video later talking about why I haven't been doing a whole lot of videos lately. But today I'm out here at Double Tap Range in Boise, and I am out here with an IWI Carmel. Did a little looking around online. We had this gun at the store for a little while, at the store by Boise Black Rifle, where I work part-time. We've had it sitting there for a little while, and it just wasn't selling, so I figured what the heck, I would buy it and take it out here and see how it shoots. There's a couple of videos out there on them, but not a lot. I'm kind of surprised. It's a new rifle. It is a gas piston, Ford non-reciprocating charging handle, folding stock rifle, like a lot of other guns out there on the market that are really popular. But for whatever reason, this gun is just been sitting. My friend Tim over at Military Arms Channel, he did a video on the Carmel. His video goes into the history of the evolution of the gun, and then he does some shooting with the new one. There's a couple other ones out there, but nothing, there's not a lot of info on it. So picked it up, bringing it out here, and we're gonna see how it shoots. I wanna thank a couple of sponsors here real quick. U.S. Law Shield. If you are a person who carries a firearm, has a firearm around the house for self-defense, you need to have some sort of legal protection. U.S. Law Shield is a prepaid legal service. It is not insurance. Some states consider it insurance, some don't. But it is prepaid legal service. If you ever end up you get in any kind of self-defense use of force, whether it's with a firearm or not, they will cover you. They have an attorney on call to give you advice, and they will represent you in court. The upside to them, the reason I chose them over some of the other similar services, I am a member, is because they actually cover on-duty law enforcement as well. Many of the other ones do not. So, U.S. Law Shield, thank you very much. The other one I want to thank is Boise Black Rifle. Not only do I work there, but they help me by supporting this channel. So anyways, big shout out to Boise Black Rifle. Thank you for your help as well. So let's get back into this. Like I said, forward charging handle. It is non-reciprocating. This is a short stroke gas piston gun, uses ARs, takes a standard AR grip, comes with a ambi safety from the factory. It's a folding stock. The trigger is not an AR trigger. It's a decent trigger, but it is definitely not compatible with ARs. So if you want to slap a Geisley in here, they don't make one yet, or if they will. It does come with ambi mag release on both sides, ambi bolt catch. So all the controls on this gun can be ambi. The ejection port is always going to be on the right side of the gun, though. One thing that's kind of slick on this gun, if you want to switch the charging handle from one side to the other, let me see, there we go. So lock the bolt open, slide the charging handle forward to there, push it through, and you're now right side charging handle. So for the guys that like to run AKs or for lefties, you can switch it really easily. There is a bolt catch, bolt release right here that you can easily reach with your trigger finger. So I'm going to put it back to left because I prefer my charging handle that side. That is one of the easiest to switch charging handles I have ever seen. There's other ones that can be switched. I brought a couple other guns out here that are similar platform design ideas that I'm going to shoot after I get this thing zeroed and after I put some rounds through it, and I just want to compare them. I brought out my Bushmaster ACR, and I brought out my 5.56 Jackal. So, but for now, I'm going to get this thing zeroed. Talk about the optic on here. So this is an Aimpoint RDS. That's what optics on here. I've also got Magpul M-Bus 3s on here that I'm going to be zeroing as well. I did put a Silencer Co. ASR 3-prong flash hider on here. I do plan on running my can on it a little bit later here. The other two guns I've got out here have ASRs on them as well, so at least when I'm comparing recoil, it'll be the same exact muzzle device, so people can't complain that one's got a break, one doesn't. Then I'm a hand stop guy. Normally I run a BCM CAG, except one of my knocks on this gun, just from handling it, is the size of this forend. It is monstrous in height. So CAGs end up adding quite a bit of girth to your gun, where they start to sweep down for the little hook on the end of the hand stop. This gun, and I've got big hands, if I put that on this gun, I would have a hard time grabbing onto it. So I went with this, which is a really nice little aluminum hand stop made by A3 Tactical. which we also carry that brand at the store. We recently picked them up. So we've got their stocks, braces, hand stops, some of their other rail parts in stock. So I'm gonna go, I got the target already set up. I'm gonna move some cameras around, grab my ears, and let's zero this thing. One thing I do want to throw out there, if you haven't tried these yet, save your hearing protection. They're electronic ears, they're gel cups, they have phenomenal decibel ratings. The battery life is great, they're super comfortable, and they are really inexpensive. So throwing that out there. Save your, same company that makes the bags, handgun bags, long gun bags. They make these ears of theirs are phenomenal. We had our Boise Range Day event, Boise Black Rifle Range Day event. I was out here all day with these on, and at the end of the day, even with glasses on, I didn't have that pounding headache thing you get from your ears cramming your glasses into your head. I cannot over stress how much I really like these ears. All right, let's see what I got here. Like I said, I am zeroing this gun at 50 yards. I have no idea where this thing's going to be at on paper. Down there, I got a camera set up on the target. So I am going to be aiming for, I've got 5 black dots on the target. Also, I brought out an assortment of mags here. I got just a metal GI mag and 2 different Gen P mags. So I've got Gen 2s and Gen 3s. I got a Gen 3 window and a Gen 3 non-window. So, and then I don't have any Lancer 5.56 mags, although I like them a lot in my 300 blackout gun. So I am probably going to pick up some 5.56 ones as well. But anyway, let's throw a magazine in this gun. Oh, I do want to throw props to IWI. Most guns, when you buy them, they come with a Gen 2 PMag. This one actually came with a Gen 3 windowed PMag. So kudos to them for throwing in a top-notch mag. I'm gonna bring this back just a little bit. Of course, I didn't bring any 10 or 20 round mags to zero with. All right, first round went in. Let's see where we are. Dim this down one, there we go. Oh, muzzle blast moved my lens cap. I'm gonna put that over here. Get it a little further away from the muzzle blast. All right. First round, felt recoil's not bad. It's actually pretty light. Let's see here, does this thing actually function and throw a round in second round? All right. Let's go see where we're at on the paper. I'm gonna go for the head. That last one did not feel good. All right, let's go take a look at the target. All right, so one thing I want to talk about on this gun is height over bore. So this handguard, if you look at where the barrel is in the handguard, I measured this the other day. It's 2 inches below the top of the Picatinny rail. So when you combine that height with the handguard height, I measured it with the tape measure, I'm at 4 inches of height over bore. At a distance, that doesn't make a lot of difference. Hang on a minute, I think I may have just induced a malfunction. There it goes. I did, but it's fixed. So what I've got here, so I've got this target, I'm currently at 10 yards. I've got 2 dots on there. This is one of those things that goes back to my law enforcement training. Concerned about hostage headshots. So if you're taking a headshot on a hostage holder, you gotta be concerned, especially if you're up close, you've gotta be concerned about height over bore. Because if your hostage is being held in front of the guy and his head is over their head and you aim for dead center and you've got a 4-inch height over bore, you could potentially be putting a round right through the face of the hostage. We don't want to do that. So let's see here. So I'm going to be aiming at the very top dot, and then we're going to take my phone camera, which is in my pocket. We'll go up there and take a look and see where that round lands. So this is 10 yards. I am dead center on that dot. That's so I was dead center on that black dot up high, and that is where that round went, right in the neck, right at the chin. So 4 inches height over bore is something to at least bear in mind when you're shooting. So at 50, I'm dead on. At 10 yards, I am 4 inches low. So let's see if I can guesstimate where to put that and see if I can get one in the dot. Let me, safe, camera phone out here, and there it is, right in the dot. So where was I aiming? Right over the top of the head, dead center. Something to think about. But let's just do some shooting, have a little fun. All right, I got lipstick plate down there, plus my paper target. I haven't set anything else up just yet. I'm just gonna play around a little bit. I gotta say, I do like the recoil impulse quite a bit. For a piston gun, it's really light. I'm gonna go set this mag down. I'm gonna throw up some steel. I'm at about, I don't know, 23 yards or so. I like the recoil impulse in this gun. I did not show this earlier. This is currently, the buttstock is adjustable for length of pull, just like every modern gun. Except this thing goes really long. It is 6 position. I'm currently running it on position 3. It actually goes longer than I would care for. And normally I run my AR adjustable stocks all the way out. So it gives you a lot of length of pull. The cheek riser is also adjustable, although to be honest, it's kind of chintzy. It is adjustable. Not super sturdy. Is my trigger dead? Nope. Just gotta pull it, Matt. See how this thing does on a metal mag. Feeding fine with the GI mag. So far feeding good. And just to verify, I am running this thing. It's got 2 positions on the gas block, suppressed and regular. I can't tell what it's on right now. So I'm gonna throw the can on it and we'll see how it does. Let's see. Well, there's 30 rounds suppressed. I got their gas setting seems to be about right. This is not a 5.56 can. This is a Yankee Hill R9. It's a 9mm can. I did notice a little bit of gas in the face, but not horrific. Piston guns, you typically don't have that problem like you do with a DI gun. Recoil impulse is a little bit heavier with the can on it, but not significantly. That might be due to the gas setting. I'm gonna keep shooting this thing. I really like it. I've put 150-ish rounds through the Carmel so far. I mentioned not a big fan of this. You can see how flimsy it is. The upside is I don't need it. So in its bottomed out position, it is fairly stable. The stock itself is very stable. There's no wiggle to it hardly at all compared to either my ACR or the Jackal that I have on the table here behind me. Folding mechanism works great. The length of pull is easy to adjust once you figure out where it's at. It is a AR pattern grip, so I just left what came on it, which is a B5. I like B5 grips. I will probably down the road put a Die-Free Company Kung Fu grip on here because I really like those as well. They're even more vertical than this. Other than that, this thing is shooting great. I'm really liking the recoil impulse. The gun is really light. Recoil impulse on this gun feels a lot like the Bren 2 did to me, at least from memory. The only knock I have at this point, like if you look at any of my other guns, I don't run M-LOK grip panels. I just don't feel the need for them. However, this guy, this aluminum handguard is getting pretty warm. Granted, I had, like I said, 150 rounds through it in a fairly short period of time, and some of that was with the can on it. So it did get warm. I may end up putting some rail panels on here just to keep my hand more comfortable. It didn't burn me, but it was definitely feeling warm. Temperature-wise, we're 85 today, so it's not a real hot day out here. For that matter, my camera hasn't even overheated once, so that's a plus. I mean, still, back to this thing. Really like it. The trigger is a two-stage trigger. The bolt forward. So it's a two-stage trigger. It's got, see if I can turn it around here. So it's got 1/4 of an inch of take-up that's fairly light, maybe 2-3 pound take-up. Hits a very distinct wall. Probably 5-6 pound let off and very little over travel. So do that again, keep my thumb out of the way here. There's reset, there's take-up. Very distinct wall. Maybe another 1/8 of an inch of travel, lets off, and a little bit over travel. For a bone stock trigger, really nice, actually. No complaints. I do like the right side bolt catch, bolt release. I like running my trigger finger to run that. All my ARs typically have a Magpul bad lever on them, just so I can use my trigger finger to lock the bolt open when I'm making the gun safe, or if I have a malfunction and I don't have to start swapping hands to get the bolt locked open. So I do like that about it. Bolt catch, for that matter, I can hit it on the left side of the gun too. So let me get my hand out of the way here. My thumb comes down, hit the bolt catch right there. So it helps if you actually have it all the way back. That time it is. So now what I want to do, like I mentioned, I brought out a couple other guns that are very similar in looks. If you look at them here, they're both folding stock, forward charging handle, non-reciprocating, same general size. In this case, the ACR is a little bit chunkier. Here's the Jackal. Granted, the Jackal's got a light on it, so it's not 100% fair comparison on weight. It's got a little bit longer handguard too. So this guy is lighter. I actually brought a scale out, so I'll weigh him here in a few minutes to get the actual weight on the gun. But right now, I would like to put a couple rounds through the Carmel, and then I'm going to put a couple rounds through the ACR. And then I'm going to put a couple rounds through the Carmel and a couple rounds through the Jackal. I just want to kind of compare back to back what the recoil impulse feels like. So these are all the guns are going to be on the bench hot here. Safety on. Safety is on. Let me get this out of the way. Actually, I'm just going to run P-mags in all three of them. All right, that gun is hot. Safety on. And we are hot. Safety on. So, first gun up is going to be the Carmel. Let's go with the Jackal. Well, first malfunction I've ever had with this gun. Oh, you know what? I'm short stroking it. Last time I ran this gun, I had a can on it. So, I got to increase the gas settings on this thing. Well, I hate to say it, but this is the second time I've had a Jackal gas block jam up on me. So unfortunately, the Jackal is out of the running. Let's go back to the Carmel, since I need to refresh my my take on this. All right, let's see here. It chambered around, but the bolt didn't go all the way home. Granted, I'm going to throw this out there right now. I haven't lubed this gun. Came out of the box with whatever lube was on it. I have not lubed it. If I have another malfunction like that, I will definitely be taking this thing apart to see what's going on. Let's see here. All right. I'd say very similar. I'm thinking the Carmel is maybe a hair lighter. The other thing, the ACR, when you engage the charging handle, it now will act as a forward assist. So I can't put that back forward. The Carmel, bolt lock open. My charging handle is not a forward assist. So that could potentially be an issue. Had I had a forward assist on here, that one round that didn't fully chamber, the round was chambered, but the bolt didn't go home on it all the way, I would have been able to smack the forward assist and get it back in battery. So potentially that's an issue. I'm gonna sit down on the table here, open this thing up, show you guys how it comes apart. And while I've got it open, I'm gonna throw some oil in it, lube it up a little bit. All right, so let's take a look at this. You've got three different portions of this gun that come apart easily. First is going to be the lower. So it's got a captive pin just like ARs do. Push that captive pin through, lift the back end up, magwell, trigger, safety, pistol grip, all that come off. So now you're into the bottom of the receiver here. You don't need to remove that to do this next step. I'm just doing it. So the next thing we're going to do, fold the stock, get it out of the way. And right here, where your stock latches, It's another double captive pin, and I have found it's much easier instead of fighting it. Just grab a screwdriver here to get it moving a little bit initially, which there it goes. So then pull it all the way out. It hits a notch near the very end, and it helps if you push in on this, which is actually attached to your bolt carrier and your recoil spring assembly and everything else. So there is the rest of that gun. I was looking at the instructions on IWI's, unfortunately, so there's a couple of knocks I have on this gun. IWI does not give you an owner's manual. They give you a link where you can go and read a PDF of an owner's manual, and I guess you could print it yourself, but they don't provide you with an actual paper copy of the owner's manual. I'm an old guy. I mean, I'm not that old, but you know, I'm the oldest guy at work, so they call me the old guy. I like paper manuals for my gun, so it kind of bothers me that they don't give me one. I mean, both the other guns that are out here that I'm comparing to this came with paper manuals, including the Jackal, which is, again, a more budget-oriented firearm. If you want to remove your firing pin, there is a retainer here and another retainer here. This one, there it is. So there is my firing pin, and then my bolt cam pin will come out. So the firing pin actually has a return spring, unlike an AR. It's not a free-floating pin, or free-floating firing pin. Your cam pin comes out, and then your bolt will come out at the front of the carrier. So very basic. Well, I mean, they're not, obviously not AR parts, but the same concept that an AR is put together with. Let me see if I can get this thing all back together. By the way, I have not done this before, so this is just me kind of doing this on the fly. And come on, firing pin retainer. What did I do wrong? All right, let's see if I can get this gun actually back to functional. There's that. All right, there she blows. Firing pin still moves, bolt moves. I am gonna throw a little bit of lube on this before I put it back in. Let me show you, I'm gonna bring this over here a little bit closer to the camera. Hopefully it will focus. So looking in here, everything is very similar to an AR. The safety is in the same location. The trigger mechanism itself, very similar in design to an AR. The hammer is very similar in where it lets off is different. So an AR on the front of the trigger, the sear interface on the front of an AR on the AR is on the front of the trigger and the bottom of the hammer at the pivot. On this gun, it's very much like an AK. So it's got this hook right here that when I pull my trigger, that hook is releasing from that ledge on the hammer. So initially, if my trigger's still pulled, I've got a semi-auto sear back here that as I let go of that, it now put the trigger, or I'm sorry, the hammer onto the actual sear release section of the trigger. Put these on so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, make fun of me. You'll get old eventually. I had 20/20 vision my entire life until I hit, 45-ish. All right, so I got a little bit on the cam pin. And now that this gun's got some rounds through it, I'm gonna do the old school, put oil on the shiny parts. So any place there's shiny metal, that's metal to metal that is causing that. So just put a little bit of oil where you see shiny bits. All right. So I will say this, putting this thing back together is a lot easier than putting my Jackal back together. Getting the bolt to go into that thing can be fun at times. All right, there's that. And, oop, did not latch that. There we go. Really? There we go. Now, trigger housing, you can see the grooves up front, the two hooks right at the front of the handguard. Actually, that looks like maybe a barrel nut clamp of some sort. So right there is a pin that goes through. That just goes in, pivots on that, slides down, and your captive pin goes back through. There is that, back in business. Grab my ears and put some more rounds through this thing. Okay, just got home from the range and I realized when I was out there, I did not weigh the guns. So just to put them in comparison here, turn my scale on. All right, that thing is zeroed. So let's take this is the Carmel. No rounds in it, no mag, it's empty, other than it doesn't have a light like the other one of these two guns does. Hang on, let's see if I can get this thing centered here. We are looking at 8 pounds, 10 ounces. What are my final thoughts on this guy? It is a very nice shooting gun. I really like the recoil impulse. It is only a 2-position gas block, just like the ACR. So it's got suppressed and unsuppressed. That's it. The only 2 negatives I've got with this gun are the monstrous height over bore that you've got here, and then the cheek riser that's adjustable, which is nice, but it's just really flimsy. Other than that, it's a solid gun. It's kind of, you know, it does look a little odd because of how tall that handguard is, but it doesn't really feel it in your hands. And again, I did get some heat coming through the handguard, so the handguard did warm up pretty quick when I was shooting. So potentially throwing some rail panels on there to keep my hands off the metal, that might resolve that. But I'm going to end up shooting this thing a lot more. I really like it. So if I run into any issues with it, I will let you know. And speaking of issues, I'll probably be throwing together a what the hell happened to my jackal video. So stand by for that.